Welcome. It's Facts You Don't Know. If it's your first time here and you want to find out new facts that will definitely make you smarter and more, well, and first make sure to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss anything.
The woman left the child for the sake of the groom. When she saw her after a while, she was amazed. In the second half of life, a person is often responsible to fate for his actions committed in his youth. Not everyone is happy about it, but what you did before will come back in different shape. This is inevitable. Therefore, when making a choice, it's always important to think about what distant consequences it can lead to. Although Ella lived with her mother together, the girl was always drawn to rich companies. She hung out with those who were rich. They accepted it with a grin, appreciating recklessness and sufficient freedom of communication with the opposite sex. This is what happened to her sideways. A visiting guy made happy with her pregnancy, probably not even remembering her face. At this point, she was only 18 years old, but she already worked at a local electronics store. Mom was in terrible frustration from such a vile deception, and because of the disease, she was not fine before the birth. Ella was left all alone. There were debts for the funeral, so she was forced to sell an apartment. In order not to stay on the street, for the remaining money, Ella bought a small house on the outskirts of the city and left funds for the period of the degree. There they settled with their daughter, whom named Catherine in honor of her mom. The young mother, in every possible way, saved money and studied English online. She understood that when the girl is 3 years old, she will have to go to work. On the first birthday of Katiushka, Ella decided to invite some old friends. Her best friend came with the two young people. She presented one of them as her fiancé. The second was a dark-haired, handsome man. Sensual eyebrows and a carefully groomed beard and mustache adorned the face. The clothes were impeccable, and a gold-like watch flashed on his hand. Irina said that this is a programmer from the Emirates who came to her fiancé at the company to gain experience, so that he was not bored. They took him with. As for the watch, he did not wear fakes. It really was gold. Omar was older than most of the company, and Ella clearly liked him. He tried his best to please her during the evening. With pleasure, I took the child in my arms and played with her. That she had no one to leave her daughter with. He said that he would send a kind nanny. The young mother agreed. In the cafe, a violinist came up to their table and played beautiful music. At this moment, brought a huge bouquet of white roses. Omar took them and gave them to Ella. Then he pulled out a velvet case and pulled out a luxurious diamond necklace. Ella was in shock. A young man invited them and his daughter to move to him. The company rented a luxury cottage to Omar because he wasn't just a trainee, but a member of the royal family of the Emirates. Then he outlined the prospects of living with his parents. Ella and her daughter moved to the cottage. The owners settled the girl on the second floor, renting their bedroom on the first. On the very first night, Katia cried loudly and called for her mother. The woman wanted to go to the child, but Omar said that the daughter needs to be accustomed to her new room. With more affection, tenderness, and kisses, he did not let Ella go upstairs. This went on for almost a week. During the day, Omar played with the girl and laughed. At night, as if becoming her enemy. A month later, the men said that they were flying to the Emirates, but the girl temporarily needs to be left in Russia. Ella cried and begged to take her daughter. Omar quietly and gently explained to her that he would first introduce the bride to the family, and then they would get married and immediately bring Katia. Ultimately, Ella abandoned her daughter, preferring her groom. She decided to go. The girl was left with her best friend, who had a lot of problems. The groom left her. There was nothing to pay for the mortgage, and the bank took the apartment. Ella offered her house and money to feed her and Katia. Irina had nowhere to live, and a very sad girl, so she agreed. The first month, Ella called regularly, but at one point the calls stopped. To feed the girl, Irina got a job as a maid in a rich house. The hosts turned out to be an aged couple, convinced of the honesty and hard work of Irina, and knowing her situation, they warmly accepted them with Katia into the house. They took up the girl's studies and treated her like a native granddaughter. Katia studied well, and grandparents gladly paid her study costs where she studied international relations. With honors, grades, and connections, the girl was easily arranged at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. There she met a young guy, and they started dating. It so happened that the minister himself became her future father-in-law. When future relatives came to visit, the minister suddenly called. In the Emirates, a group of Russian women escaped from slavery and sought refuge at the embassy. The father-in-law wrote down their details and ordered the ambassador to shelter them before receiving the documents. When Catherine glanced over her shoulder, her legs bent and she jumped out of the room. She told the bridegroom, who came out after that, she saw in the list the name of her biological mother. A month later, Katia and her husband and adoptive mother Irina met a group of women at the airport. One of them separated and went to meet them. It was Ella who gets old. She recognized Irina and realized that the girl next to her was her abandoned daughter Katia. The woman was astounded. The biological mother tried to tell her that her fiancé abandoned her a month later and sold her to a brothel. She cried, asked for forgiveness, and said that she did not think that everything would happen that way. Catherine handed her the same amount that Ella left for Irina upon departure, and the documents. It was a gift to a small one-room apartment. Daughter and real mother left hugging, and Ella forever lost that baby Katia, which she once exchanged for a man and the desire for luxury. Perfect once unprincipled villainy returned to the woman. If it were possible to return everything back. But life has no subjunctive mood. It's written only once and for all. I have all my friends. How do you like this story? Write your opinion about her in the comments. See you later.
Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video in social networks. We'll be right back to you as fast as we can.